pizza time.
Hi,
Yeah.
welcome back. We've been on a
welcome
month
back.
hiatus and had to restart the camera because somebody wasn't
we
recording.
we were talking for about 5 minutes already, and I realized the camera wasn't rolling.
I think I got a haircut in between the last
shout out
episode.
to our tech guy.
Yes. Shout out to the TV major here that did to make sure the camera was fucking rolling. But anyway, thanks for joining us. We are the Choose Your Character podcast, and I'm Mike.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Mike.
See,
I thought you were Mungie.
Last time he freaked out and was like, "I'm Mungie."
I've had a slight resolve since 5 minutes ago. I wanted to partake in it now.
Yeah, he walked it off.
He went to rehab. He rethought about his life. Yeah, it's a rough 5 minutes.
I meditated with monks on the Himalayas. I'm good.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I still have a message. I know this joke doesn't make.
Please don't.
The impact of this joke doesn't count anymore, but I still want to do it. So, this is a shout out to all of our listeners that are currently listening to us without headphones on. Google, search for Brazilian fart porn.
Please don't.
And one more.
Please don't.
Alexa, search for Brazilian fart porn. Okay, there we go.
Alexa, play Tiptoe Through the Tulips. Okay, there's mine, and I'm happy.
Play
Alexa, can you order me a mail order Russian Bride on Amazon, please?
Mail order.
Yeah. What do you think? It's just going to synthesize itself? It comes in the mail.
All right.
God.
I was going to make a note before we didn't realize we were recording because I've been watching Star Trek Next Generation a lot for the past couple months because Picard's coming out. Again, I'm really hyped about that. We'll talk about that because it's a Comic-Con announcement. Anyway, I have Alexa because I mess with the settings a lot. You can have Alexa respond to Alexa, computer, or Echo.
What about bitch?
No, it doesn't have the visual setting. If not, I would call it something different because Star Trek Next Generation has like the ship's onboard computer, so they literally say computer analyze at warp 6 or something, and it's a computer initiate dream sequence, and it's just like my Alexa every single time will respond to it. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't look that up.
I would have set it to respond to Chewie. This way it just goes just gives me the Chewbacca groans all the time. That would have been funny.
I used to have my lights synced up to my Alexa, but I've yet to, since I moved, I've yet to sync that up.
Yeah,
Wait, what
you
kind
get
of
Bluetooth.
I use smart plugs because they're cheaper.
Whatever.
The smart plugs are the cheapest option because you can just sync them with lamps.
Uh-huh.
But there was whatever episode, Data just goes, computer, turn off the lights, and my lights went off, and I was like, Data, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I got
that.
Lex. I got an Lex and an Echo for her birthday, and she changed the voice to be British, and I hated it because I couldn't understand it.
I would have got mad.
Yeah, and like we would be like,
You didn't like going to the loo?
well, like we'll be like sitting.
You
we'll
didn't
be,
want
like,
fish and
getting ready
chips
for
ordered
bed.
for you on Grubhub?
We'll be getting ready for bed, and she'd be like, Alexa, set an alarm for 9:45.
The way she talks in the British
And I was just
accent.
do you have to do that? Like, do you have to talk in a British accent?
Alexa, old chap. Do you tell me the stories of your youth?
I mean,
I'm sure British Alexa has trouble understanding the Cockney accents of some British people. Oi!
Oi!
Turn the alarm on to 8.
Listen here.
Sorry. I'm really sorry to our British fans.
when you start talking to your Alexa like you're Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders.
But she also changed her alarm noise to a cowboy saying "wake up." So the normal Alexa alarm noise is just a regular alarm. It beeps.
Well, somebody has the wake the fuck up samurai from Cyberpunk.
Well,
That's already an alarm clock.
So like, I
About
didn't
your
realize
breathtaking.
she changed it, and then like her alarm went off. It was like, well, it's time to get up, y'all. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I said that, and I was like, what the hell was that? And she's like, oh, it's my alarm. I changed it. I was like, that was the worst alarm I've ever heard. And the alarm on her phone now is Smash Mouth. So, because like, there's one thing that like scientists have said that like you should never change your favorite song to your alarm because you'll just start to grow to hate it.
Yeah.
Because you'll start like, recognizing it as you have to wake up, and that just like the flurry of negative emotions you start to have.
I felt the same way about ringtones, but that's because I don't like talking to people, so I guess that's why.
It reminds me of that Cody Ko video. The My Epic Morning Routine. That's cringe.
Yeah.
Who likes the sound of their own alarm? A masochist.
The Rock has like a workout app, but he has a an alarm clock setting for you, and it's him like lightly playing a ukulele and then breaking it, telling you to wake up, jabroni.
Oh my god.
Jabroni.
Wake up, jabroni.
So, did you guys see anything new recently stuck out to you?
Well, last night Mungie and I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So it was great. We're not going to do a review on it yet because we're waiting for Sister to see it.
Sister hasn't seen it. I give it an extra week or two also for people who haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we'll do the choose your character. What you want to do? 14-day spoiler lock.
Yeah.
Just make sure you see it too, so we can talk about it.
I'll do my best. My dad wants to see it, so I'm gonna wait for him to see it with me.
But I'll give it a solid 8.5.
Really?
I'll give it a 9.5. And I'll explain it next episode because I think Tarantino's a genius for what he did.
I mean, if it's better than Inglourious Bastards, I'll be thoroughly.
I liked Inglourious
because I loved Inglourious Bastards.
I can't rate them better than other Tarantino movies, because it's just I love them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's always going to be the way they're compared to, so you never know. It's just personal preference. Personally,
so first topic we're going to talk about is foot fetish.
Yeah, let's not say we did.
No.
But if you guys just want to skip to minute marker 5:55 right now, maybe we'll get past this one.
Yeah. So
even though we're 7 minutes in.
Anyway, well, so while we were gone, the San Diego Comic-Con occurred. And we had a bunch of announcements happen. Some good, some bad.
Before you say,
man, I've been in a coma for a month. Man, I hope the D&D writers for Game of Thrones came.
But to be honest, r/free folk was planning on storming that, like the way people were planning on storming Area 51.
D&D couldn't defend the wall.
Yeah, they straight up were during the Q&A, we're gonna fuck with these guys. Because I mean, I don't blame them. Because I pissed about the season finale and stuff, but
Yeah.
But so with San Diego Comic-Con, we had a bunch of trailers that were the big highlights that happened. We of course got the new Marvel Phase announcements. I don't have that pulled up right now.
I will freak out about the only one I'm excited for.
Whoa, there's only one of them you're excited for?
You know why I'm excited for the one.
What, because of Jane Foster Thor?
No.
No,
no.
You're not excited? Because I remember
we're not talking about Phase. I'm talking about, Phase is included with the Hawkeye show.
Oh.
That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, of course.
Hawkeye is announced. It's announced that there will be a Kate Bishop in the show, which I'm really fucking excited for.
That's sick.
And what caught my eye was the logo for Hawkeye, the show.
It looks like the Drake and Josh logo.
I was going to say the Matt Fraction art style with Matt Fraction wrote it. The David Aja art style for the Matt Fraction one for Hawkeye. Yeah. My favorite run.
It's out of all of them, that's the cult classic.
Yeah.
For Hawkeye novels.
So a spiral off of you saying
so hard.
Spiraling off of you saying the Drake and Josh logo, Drake Bell is actually coming to our local. I think it's our mall or one
Sam
of our
Ash.
local.
It's a music store.
It's Drake Bell's coming to Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The most don't know why, but he's going to be there.
He's been seen a lot of times around here. I think he has family around here or something, because I've seen people take pictures with him in Wawa's all the time. Yeah, I've seen him on Twitter.
Hey, he just likes Wawa.
Yeah, right. I just want to say how excited I am for this new phase. They're giving me all these. I'm excited for every single one of the movies. I'm excited for every single TV show. The one I'm excited about the most is Shang-Chi. And I think it's Shang-Chi because I'm already in love with the actor that plays him already. Because he's on Twitter, his fan base is so grateful of him, and he's really nice to his fan base, and I like that. I'm glad we're giving him they're giving him a chance like that, because you can tell he's going to try every single way he can. I'm
actually more excited, or when it comes to the movie announcements, I'm actually most excited for Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that too.
I have a list of what was announced, and I'm just going to run down. So we have Eternals was announced. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Looks cool.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. WandaVision. Loki. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Marvel Studio presents What If. Hawkeye, like you guys mentioned. Thor: Love and Thunder. Black Widow and Blade. We are getting all those movies within the next 5 years. Some of these are shows. Some of these are going to be exclusively on Disney Plus, which now makes me more want to buy into Disney Plus. But
to be honest, Hulu owners already are going to be good.
I do think Falcon and Winter Soldier are going to be like a French Connection-esque type.
I think it's going to be a buddy cop movie.
Yeah,
or a buddy cop show.
Like they're going to be on the run or something, because half that show is going to be what the fuck Bucky did.
Yeah.
While he was Winter Soldier, and they have to deal with that.
No, you're right. I agree.
So I have one comment to make is not a fan of some of these subtitles here.
WandaVision.
It's growing.
WandaVision's fine. Multiverse of Madness is weird.
What?
Wait, how can you be okay with WandaVision but not?
Because isn't
before you go on, let me speak my case. I think it's just going to be some mild psycho thriller kind of movie.
WandaVision,
it's gonna
perhaps.
Be no. Even though it's gonna have a tone, WandaVision's definitely gonna have a darker tone.
Well,
because it leads right into Multiverse of Madness.
Well, WandaVision sounds like that spin on that run. I can't remember who did that run of where Vision was just like, I'll make my own family.
That was shit. It's not.
And it was also
Tom King.
Yeah, and it was
Tom King. It was Visions,
and it was also really dark. So it could be like that twist
that
on
was
it,
like,
where Wanda's just like, I'll use my powers to make another Vision.
You know, Tom King wouldn't write Batman for DC until he could finish Visions.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So thank God, because it's the only good thing Tom King's ever written, in my opinion. Don't come at me.
Tom King's very active on Twitter. I really do not want to catch flack from Tom King.
Well, Tom King took a shit on Batman.
He shit on people with like 3 followers. I don't fuck with Tom King.
Yeah, well, it's not like Mike's gonna put this one on our Twitter, so
I like comic book pages.
Anyway, but what I was saying about multiverse is it's going to make a darker tone into the Marvel universe, which is great because Doctor Strange is the perfect hero to do that with, especially since you already have him announced, and Midnight Suns is probably one of the bigger stables in Marvel that hasn't been talked about since at least the 90s, maybe even the 80s.
Yeah.
And just think of the people you have in the Midnight Suns. You have Doctor Strange, you have the Punisher, you have, I think, Moon Knight, maybe? You have, did I say Ghost Rider already?
No.
Ghost Rider. I think Blade might have a few cameos here and there. So there's and Elsa Bloodstone, you can't forget about her. And it's Scarlet Witch, especially. Considering WandaVision is pretty much based around Scarlet Witch, and then it leads right into multiverse. I mean, one has to think, is that where you got to think that's going to be where we have Midnight Suns be at least teased at the end.
Speaking of multiverse, we never really discussed the new Spider-Man.
No, we haven't.
I haven't seen it, but I've already had it spoiled, so.
So we get to talk about it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Why not?
Okay, so I mean,
I did want to make the note. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I did want to make the note. Is anything related to Tony Stark is just. It's just funny to me that all of the main villains for all the Iron Man movies was just like, you wronged me in the past.
Oh yeah, because Tony Stark was a dickhead before he became Iron Man.
Yeah, and his family wronged a lot of people too.
Well, I thought that was what Iron Man 3 was generally about, was like, I personally made my own demons, and I'm just like, great, he resolved them. Oh no, wait, he didn't. Even dead, he's being a dick.
Yeah, so I mean, with this Spider-Man, it was good. I enjoyed it, but it was mostly filler with what I mean, it kind of had to be with how like the impact of Endgame.
Nothing Spider-Man will ever be filler.
Did they
with how popular Spider-Man is?
No, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the things that happen most likely won't have an impact on the rest of the story as the Marvel Universe as a whole.
Did they acknowledge the snap at all?
Which is why...
Yeah, they did. They called it the blip.
It's called the blip.
I'm not a fan of that. I thought it was kind of stupid.
It was just called the blip, and they moved on.
Well, you got to think, that's what kids are calling it. Kids, it was kind of alluded that the social media named it the blip, which actually, when you think about it in a complex sense, you see that kids, like you generally youth and social media have a tango together.
Yeah.
So you got to think, it was definitely a bunch of millennials that named it that. So how fitting that our generation would name it something so stupid, because every day you see stuff on the internet that you're just like, God, that was stupid.
I feel like Gen Z would call it the blip, the millennials will call it the yeetening.
The yeetening.
But so the one
That's funny.
So they did acknowledge the fact that some people didn't get snapped and like aged. So because there was like people in their grade that was like 23. And they're like when we like snapped, like this kid was like 16 and scrawny. Now he's a buff kid that's like 23, but he's still in high school because they have to finish it, I guess. Because I guess
the snap ended the curriculum, I guess.
No, it didn't. They made them restart the whole year, which everyone was pissed about in the movie. It was quite. See, the one thing about Spider-Man that makes it not filler is no matter what, it's Spider-Man. So Spider-Man doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with any Avengers movie coming up. And Spider-Man's still going to draw a crowd because as long as he has cameos, he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But you don't know, since Sony still technically has the licensing to him, it's going to be tough to implement him further without Sony basically naming their price more and more. And they have all the leverage in the world over Tom Holland, too. So you got to think just... if they don't use him the right way, what's going to happen? So, like, hopefully, I mean, you saw the after credit scene with Quentin Beck's last words. He's not dead, obviously.
Yeah.
But his last words were exposing him as Peter Parker. Now, we don't know if that's a dream of his that he had or if it's going to lead up. But the one thing about Spider-Man is he has the best villains stable. He has the best villains haul. So Sinister Six is not out of the question. You already have 3 of them already named.
Yeah, I do think we're going to get Sinister Six. But the main point I wanted to make is that now that we're getting a Doctor Strange movie that's definitely going to deal with the multiverse, is that in this Spider-Man we didn't get a firm acknowledgement to the multiverse. Mysterio said that he was from, and it turned out that he was a former employee of Stark and was just using drones. So and all the holograms and all the like the hallucinations, they were all made by drones. So we probably now won't get another multiverse type thing until we get Doctor Strange. Like we said in the prior podcast, is that with multiverse, that's probably how they're going to start incorporating Fox characters like the X-Men and Fantastic Four, because and maybe probably even Deadpool at this point, but who knows what they're going to do with Deadpool now. It's going to be tough
because if they have to implement Deadpool, they have to do it in another comedic franchise, which leads us to Spider-Man.
Or Hawkeye.
You think Hawkeye's comedic?
I think
I don't know, they made him dark as fuck.
Deadpool vs. Hawkeye was a really good run.
But they made Hawkeye dark as fuck. I just don't think that's where they'd go with him.
Let's see how the show is. I hope the Hawkeye show is a little more comedic. I mean, the comic was dark, but it was also comedic.
Well, one thing I do have to say about that is if they do mix Deadpool with Spider-Man, it's gonna be like something like to the tone of Deadpool can't bring himself to curse because he's in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be a lot of fourth wall breaking, the fact that he can't curse because he's in a Disney movie now.
I also want to. One of the issues I have with Tom Holland Spider-Man. I love Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Oh boy.
But he just announces his name like it's nothing.
You complained about that
before. Hi, I'm Peter Parker.
Yeah, because he plays the role of a naive teen.
But he shouldn't. The whole point of Spider-Man is him, like, protecting his identity.
But he's got to learn his lessons because he's still a teenager.
Yeah, but he should have learned it in the first Spider-Man. Because of what happened with Vulcan. Vulture.
But anyway, so...
I'm Peter Parker.
I want us to keep talking about the trailers that were released. But to wrap it up with Spider-Man, we got 2 extra end credit scenes. One was Spider-Man's identity as Peter Parker being revealed to the entirety of the world by none other than J. Jonah Jameson.
And InfoWars J. Jonah Jameson.
Who is played by his original actor in the Tobey Maguire series. I'm now drawing a blank on his name.
You're kidding me.
What's
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yes.
Thank you.
And so we got that. And we also got a confirmation that... So spoiler alert. I mean, we should have definitely did a spoiler before this.
It's been a month and a half.
But like, so a big thing was that Nick Fury was not Nick Fury. It was a
Skrull.
It was a Skrull who was probably the one from.
He was the one from Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel,
yeah.
And Nick Fury's on a ship in the middle of space somewhere, probably with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So we probably, who knows when we're going to see Nick Fury next.
I think it's going to be in Eternals.
Probably. But anyway, so that's what we got out of Spider-Man was those two big things.
And pardon me for interrupting, they sneak in Inhumans.
They tried with that show that didn't even get past the pilot.
Did the Inhumans, what was that run on? Was that Fox?
No, it was either ABC or CBS. It wasn't Fox.
But anyway,
it didn't last past the pilot, and it had Ramsey Bolton in it.
I think I do remember it now. But anyway, so just to wrap up on Spider-Man, since I don't want to focus it on too much, but that's what we got out of Spider-Man, was that now Spider-Man's identity is now leaked to the entirety of the world. We're not sure how they're going to deal with that. Mysterio is quote unquote swoosh 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 dead, supposedly, and also
the Skrulls are on Earth.
The Skrulls are on Earth, and Nick Fury is not.
And Secret Invasion, maybe? Isn't that what the run was called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what we got out of it, and now we have what is it? Phase 6 coming out with.
It was Phase 4.
Phase
5.
Phase 4. You're right. Sorry, I jumped another 20 years.
Hopefully, we
this.
get to Phase 6. That'd be amazing.
As long as this makes money, we're going to keep getting Marvel movies.
I mean, Phase 1 through 3 was what? It was how many movies?
God, I don't.
20, at least 20,
at least.
And that only lasted 10 years. Just about 10 or 11 years.
So
I think we'll get 3 more phases within the next decade.
To continue with me complaining about the names, I had an issue with Love and Thunder, but now that I think about it, Thor is with the
Jane Foster. Yeah.
Well, he's with the Guardians right now, so they're going to have some sort of incorporation, and it makes sense for the title.
80s vibe of Love and Thunder.
Just look at the logo.
It sounds like a great metal hairband name.
Yeah, Love and Thunder.
I don't fucking care. It's a great name. I have the issue with WandaVision because it sounds like some cheap Disney 3D ripoff.
I don't know.
But the logo itself looks like it's like He-Man, which is it.
Yeah, that's why I'm in love with this.
Yeah, so I had an issue with it first because like I didn't really connect the dots that he's with the Guardians now, and I like when they announced it, I was like, what the fuck is that title? Like,
also, I like the fact that they're teasing an unworthy Thor storyline. I think it's so nice that they're implementing modern storylines now, and I'm sure, like I said, Phase 4 left us nothing more than questions. It left us with more questions than answers.
Phase 3, you mean?
No, Phase 4. The announcement of Phase 4.
Oh, the announcement. Okay.
I also wouldn't mind a War of the Realms-esque tie-in where it's just Spider-Man riding a fucking Pegasus.
That would be something.
Okay, so all right, to move on from what Marvel announced, we had a bunch of other trailers come out. We finally got a full trailer for The Witcher with Henry Cavill. Looks great. I'm for it. I'm a huge fan of the Witcher series. I know Munchie had something to say about this.
I just think like I said, I saw the trailer. I hopefully it just casts away more of those like complaints where it's just like, oh, the costumes don't look right, and the little complaints about.
I thought they were fine.
Well, it's like it's a test costume, and of course it doesn't look right, but the trailer looks really good.
It does look good. I mean, the only big issue that I had was with Geralt's medallion, because that's supposed to glow when he's near monsters and like magic and stuff, and that doesn't seem like that's what they're gonna be doing unless the entire medallion glows, because it used to be like an actual wolf head that the eyes would glow.
Hopefully it might. You never know.
But the entire medallion might glow. Whatever. I was kind of looking, because that's a big thing for Geralt, was his medallion, because it's always in the center of his chest. But as for what Henry Cavill, what was that?
Nothing.
I didn't hear what you said, actually.
That's kind of where a medallion should be, at the center of your chest.
But anyway, but that was the image of Geralt, because he's the wolf. But anyway, Henry Cavill looks great. Ciri looks great. I mean, they had Yennefer looked great.
Even the horse looks fantastic.
I
cannot wait till he whistles for a horse and it's on the roof of the fucking inn.
Roach. Yeah, I saw there was. We might have shared it on the page. That was just like this. We already know that this series is going to be completely against what The Witcher was, and it was like it showed the horse
him
on the
horse
ground,
and the horse
and then there was Roach like flying in the air. But I don't think we got. Did we get an image of Triss if she's even going to be in it? Because are they going with the Witcher story, or are they making their own?
Nothing's been leaked about it.
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
I'm going to probably err on the side that they're probably just going to redo the books. Because the source material is awesome. Like, if they want to do Game of Thrones type thing where they go with the books and then...
Source material is great. The author's a dick, but...
Yeah, but...
It's your fault, man. You should have asked for a royalty. You should have asked for a
Yeah,
percentage.
he thought the games weren't going to do anything, and then, like, The Witcher 3 is considered one of the best
how's
games
that
ever.
Disney
I thought it was
stock?
the books.
Yeah, how's that Disney stock get turned down, too?
I thought they were books.
They were books.
Oh.
Yeah, they're
But the
originally
author
books,
himself...
and the author was just like, I'm going to take a lump sum because I don't think this will be popular.
Yeah.
He also never invested in
But
Apple
in
for
his-
the same
Can
reason.
In his defense, the books were only released in Poland, weren't they? Because they were written in Polish.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. It's the same thing for Metro. Because the author... I do love the... This was also, a couple years ago when the first lawsuit came out.
Mm-hmm.
That the author for the Metro, Dmitry... I'm not going to try. I'm sorry. But the writer for the Metro just called him a cunt. Excuse my language, but he did call him that.
Oh, yeah, excuse your language. Yeah, okay.
I don't, I'm on the air.
So...
But even then, it was just like... It doesn't matter. If a game company wants to make your game, I'm going to cut for a percentage. It's also why Alec Guinness made more money than anybody else in the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because he took a percentage instead of a lump sum.
Yeah, he thought... Didn't he also think he was going to tarnish his name by doing that movie, too?
Yeah.
Alex Guinness was
Dude,
a dick.
the letters Alec Guinness wrote during the first Star Wars was
he
just
hated
so funny to me.
He still hated it after it was a success. He thought it was under him.
Cast
because
he was
just
written
did it for money. But
That'll be forever what he's known for.
See, like...
At least for our people now.
I mean, with Alex Guinness, not to completely derail what we were talking about.
I think it's Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness. But, like, not to completely derail what we were talking about, but, like, I always felt like you shouldn't poo-poo on, like...
Your project?
On your project, and especially something that makes you a big thing. Like Harrison Ford doesn't like the Star Wars series.
But he didn't shit on it.
He did. When the new actor was cast as Han Solo, I don't remember his name. He was interviewed. He was interviewed on Ellen, and Ellen was like, "Hey, do you have any? We just got word that like they just cast another Han Solo. What is your advice for him?" And he said, "Quit." he said, "Don't do it." But anyway, like, so that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. That like I understand that Harrison Ford kind of got typecasted.
He did get typecasted, but it's like I can see his point of view, and that's why it's just like, dude, when you can love it first off, but imagine being this just Han Solo for 40 years, like you're no one else, and then people complain about your.
I get it, but you still I still
no,
don't think
because
you should-
here's the thing.
Here's the
thing.
with that bullshit.
People complained about Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
but
they did.
for you to say that you're Han Solo, nothing but Han Solo for 40 years.
Yeah, it sounds great because you're not Harrison Ford.
What do you mean? He's
He
Indiana
was Indiana
fucking
Jones.
Jones too. You forget.
Yeah,
and
but
he was also in Blade Runner.
Yeah, but Indiana Jones and Blade Runner weren't these huge. All right, look, Indiana Jones
was.
Indiana
Not
Jones
nearly
was,
as big as
but not
Star
nearly
Wars.
as big as Star Wars.
Well, yeah, but still, you're gonna sit here and say Harrison Ford's legacy is tied directly to Han Solo when it's just not.
Yeah, but it's a legacy that he can grow tired of.
He fucking hates it. We all know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to.
I just had a little issue with you saying that he's been known as nothing but Han Solo for 40 years.
All right, that's not what I meant, but I can just... When you're Han Solo for 40 years, you get tired of it. Yeah. That was my point.
But anyway, so I also read a story that Alec Guinness, once A New Hope came out, he hated fans coming up to him about it. And he had one fan come up to him and ask for an autograph. and said like he watched Star Wars over 100 times, and he was like, I'm only gonna write that. I'll give you this autograph if you promise me never to watch that movie again. He's like, it's gonna rot your brain. And like the kid, like everyone, like the kid's mom was there and was just like, how dare you say that to my son? But like, that's the type of stuff that was like that's shitty. But anyway, to return
That's
to what
old
we were talking
Hollywood
about,
right there.
to turn to back to what we were talking about, The Witcher I think looks great. We got a trailer for Terminator Dark Fate. Don't know why we're getting another one. That series. I mean, we're in a thing right now where Hollywood understands, or is playing to death 80s nostalgia.
Yes.
Top Gun.
So yeah, and then the next thing I have is Top Gun Maverick.
Man.
Why do we need it? Why
Why not?
It was good. It was an amazing 80s movie. Why do you got to rehash it?
But there's no.
So you mean to tell me
Mike,
you don't have
I
faith
love
in Tom
Mike.
fucking Cruise? You don't have, after all these fucking Mission Impossible movies, you're gonna tell me you don't have faith in Tom Cruise?
Wait, is it a rehash or is it Tom Cruise continued?
It's Tom Cruise continued.
Yeah, it's
I
the
might
original
watch it
cast.
Oh my god.
But what I'm
Well,
trying
like,
to
if
say.
it was-
What I'm trying to
You
say
gotta
here.
stop overreacting if I don't know the details.
What I'm trying to say
know,
here
you're
is
right.
that some of these movies were purely money grabs, and like, cause no one was clamoring for another Top Gun. Like, I mean, come on. I understand that you guys like that movie. I personally have never seen
You
it.
didn't know about it
Look,
until
Treasure-
they released it.
look,
It's been
Treasure
teased
Planet
for a
is getting a
while.
rehash.
Yeah, but no
it
one
was
was
gonna be
clamoring
names.
for another Top Gun though. Like,
No one's also clamoring for another fucking Terminator, but yeah, they are.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No one wanted another one, and like,
You know what I really want another one of? Stop or My Mom Will Shoot 2.
Oh my god.
dude,
Have you ever heard
No.
that movie?
we need.
What about another Dude, Where's My Car?
Hey, you just took my joke. You knew I was about to start with it.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
For those of you who
I
don't,
said,
You were gonna
dude,
say,
where-
Dude, Where's Your
yeah.
Car? I didn't even know. I'm sorry.
It's
I swear to God, that was
for those of you who
creepiest shit
don't know,
ever.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot was with Sylvester Stallone and who's the oldest Golden Girl?
Betty White,
No, not Betty White.
B. Arthur.
No,
The only two I know.
There was 3 Golden Girls, and then they lived with B. Arthur's mother. I can't remember B. Arthur's mother's name, but she's Sylvester Stallone's mom. And she comes into town while he's investigating like an arms deal case, and like the ending shot is her with a fucking magnum shooting a guy.
God.
Jesus
Okay, so we had the Walking Dead movie announced.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
I got off the Walking Dead train when the governors ended. We had
Isn't
Walking
it-
Dead
isn't the
season
comics-
10 announced.
They just killed off Rick Grimes.
Oh,
in the
that's
comic.
what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. We have Fear the Walking Dead, another trailer for their new season. It Chapter 2. I'm probably the only one that's excited for
I'm
this.
extremely excited about that.
Did you see the first one?
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, I
Did
thought it was
you?
great too.
Yeah, but it was.
Now talk about movies they weren't clamoring for. No one was clamoring for a remake of it, and look how well it did.
Yeah, but now because it did so well, we're gonna have like 8 It movies.
No,
Well,
there's only
also
two.
I think
There's-
a lot of it was because Stranger Things was such a hit, and then
Yeah.
man, these like youths battling unseeable threats or unfathomable threats.
It deserved,
this could work.
but it deserved a hard R.
Oh,
movie
absolutely.
because if that's how it was written.
Absolutely.
But and Mungie, what you say they were going to get 8 It movies, I don't think so because this is actually the finale. Because there's 2 parts of It. There's one where
3 years from now, there's gonna be another It movie.
I don't
What?
think so. I really don't think so because this is what Stephen King. That's how he wrote the movie,
All right,
the
that's
book.
true.
Stephen King is not going to let them overuse
But
this.
but the first It movie was about
His
the
IP.
kids. Because the book is split up in 2 parts. It's the first half is the kids, and then the second half is Pennywise coming back, like 18 years later or something, It's probably less than that. But anyway, but that's what the It story is, and they finally defeat him as an adult, as they were adults.
Yeah.
But that's what we're getting. We also got a new announcement for 2 more Halloween movies after the success of the one from 2018. Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be in both.
Hopefully, those Halloween movies do better than the original Halloween movie sequel.
The first sequel did well. They started teetering out around because the third one had nothing to do with Michael Myers, because they wanted to make an anthology series. So the third one had nothing to do with Michael Myers. It had a good storyline, but it didn't do as well because people were expecting to see Michael Myers. And then it started petering around about the fourth one because Jamie Lee Curtis was no longer involved with the project. The storyline was now about Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter, so it was Michael's nephew. And they just kind of chalked up his storyline to like he just was deranged and wanted to go after his entire family. It eventually, deeper down the line, started incorporating mythology and like witchcraft, and like Michael was actually cursed. It got dumb.
The more you complicate things, especially in horror movies, they're not going to be as good.
So you like the original concept where it was just like he was troubled as a kid.
Yeah, and so in the mirror, and I liked the fact that he was Jamie Lee Curtis was his sister. In the new storyline, that's no longer true. Jamie Lee Curtis was just an object of his fascination.
Yeah.
Because he was just kind of like she was kind of just the one that got away.
Yeah.
To him. And so in the new Halloween, which is the reason we're getting two more in the new Halloween. So Jamie Lee Curtis, it was basically a doomsday prepper at that point because she knew that Michael was going to get out.
Yeah.
And so the final scene is them trapping him in the basement, and then like metal bars came across the door and he couldn't get out, and they set fire to the house. But then the final shot, he's not there, because they keep cutting back to a shot of him staring up the steps of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Or Laurie Strode is her character. They keep cutting back to that shot, and then the final shot before the cuts to black, he's no longer there, and then you start hearing breathing at the end of the credits. So that's a sign that he escaped. We don't know how yet. We're not going to know until 2021. Or no, it's coming out fall 2021.
So what's the correct order to watch these movies?
So the original run, you can just watch them sequentially.
Then you watch Captain America, and then after that you watch Thor.
Well, so in the first Halloween series,
then Halloween 4.
1 and 2 are a day apart from each other. It's the second one is like November 1st, and then that was supposed to be the end of Michael Myers because it ends with an explosion and Michael walks out in flames and dies. That was before they made him immortal. And then that also killed off Dr. Samuel Loomis, who's a big character in the series. The third one I said had nothing to do with Michael. It actually had to do with a company that was making demonic masks that would kill children on Halloween night after a signal was sent out by the company, and would like activate them and kill the kids. It's an interesting concept, but like I said, it didn't do well because people were looking for Michael Myers. So the fourth one had to do with Michael's nephew, and the fifth one is the sequel to that. The sixth one, I think, that one actually had Paul Rudd in it.
Wow.
He was the character that was in the first one, where Jamie Lee Curtis. He was the kid that Jamie Lee Curtis was babysitting on the first one.
Wow.
It was stupid, but it ended the nephew series because like she died in it, and that's when they started incorporating the magic and stuff, and it got dumb. But anyway, that's how that ends that series.
Okay.
Then there was Halloween H2O, which was Jamie Lee Curtis's return. It was the anniversary of it was the 20th anniversary of Halloween. So, and then that was supposed to be another end of Michael Myers because his head got chopped off.
But he's immortal.
But no, what they explained it in the next one with Busta Rhymes. Yeah. So, and then the final one of that series is that it's revealed that Michael replaced himself with a EMT and broke his whatever, he like strangled him and like made it so that he couldn't talk or something. He like broke something in his neck, and so that's why the EMT couldn't talk, and like because Michael's silent. So Jamie Lee Curtis actually killed the EMT, and then they actually killed Jamie Lee Curtis in that one, and that was supposed to be the end of that. But then the rest of the movie was Busta Rhymes kung fu kicking Michael Myers into electrical boxes because he watches Bruce Lee movies. Ooh. But that's that series. But with the new one, the new series that just started last year, is a direct sequel to the first one, so it doesn't take anything else into consideration.
Okay.
So if you would ever want to watch that series, it's one of my favorite horror series. The first Halloween is my favorite.
I'll be on the lookout for that one.
So another trailer we had was His Dark Materials. That's I think that was a BBC exclusive. Not too familiar with it. We got Silent Bob Reboot.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah! I mean, I didn't watch the first one, but I'm a fan.
It's a cult classic.
Yeah,
you have to watch Clerks first.
Yeah, I'm a fan of. I mean, I don't think anyone's not a fan of Kevin Smith.
I think he's a great guy.
Yeah,
especially from
awesome.
Jersey. He's a Jersey boy, so I got to report.
Yeah, happy birthday, by the way. His birthday was yesterday or the day before. So we got Cats.
Skip that. I don't want to fucking hear about that.
Yeah, I have in parentheses why.
Someone made the point of. I don't want to talk about it because it's weird.
I just want to point out.
Very weird. But if they reversed if they switched the Lion King to animate the way they did Cats, I think it would have been a lot more funnier, and then just used actual cats for cats.
Speaking of Lion King, I heard someone complain that the movie was too realistic, and they were upset with it. Because
how could a movie about
Seth Rogen
talking
was
animals
too much like a warthog?
No, they're like they
how could a
tell,
movie about talking animals be realistic in any sense
too
of the
spot
word?
On. Seth Rogen was too spot on as a warthog.
But they said that like they couldn't tell the emotion of the animals because they couldn't have facial expressions because they're animals. They don't have expressions like we do, and like they said it was weird watching them sing and stuff, and it's like. And it was like, why are you complaining about the realism? That was the point of the movie.
Why are you even complaining about a Disney movie? You go into watching a Disney movie knowing what you're going to get. You go in there knowing what you're going to get. But I think this Cats remake, or this Cats movie,
I don't think
you got to think of all the successful Broadway movies that came out. Chicago was very successful. Jersey Boys was extremely successful. Phantom of the Opera was very successful.
I don't think it's so much a success, but its CGI is weird, and we are the generation that's been corrupted by the internet, and we understand what furries are. So like,
I also just got a flash news.
What?
Storm Area 51 got removed off Facebook.
Really?
Thank fucking God it did. Oh,
that's
thank
hilarious.
God. They were about to get slaughtered by their own government if they would have done that shit.
I think it's never know. You never know. But anyway,
all I'm going to say about that. No one was going to die. I honestly think it's going to be like fucking Coachella. It was going to be like fucking Coachella or something, where it's just like, oh man, music's going to come out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I'm just saying, the minute somebody crosses that line you're not supposed to cross, and you can cut this out if you really need to.
No, it's fine. I mean,
you're going to get sniped in the fucking head. That you cross that, you're going to get killed.
If one person died, it would have been a national tragedy. I just think it's not going to be.
Why is it a national tragedy?
It's going to be here's what's going to be. It's going to be, hey, gift shop.
Oh my God. Here's a shirt that's currently being sold on the internet right now of an alien Naruto running. So I that's kind of what I want. But anyway.
You're infiltrating our own country's most secret area.
No, it's not. It is not the most secret area. It's the illusion. No, it doesn't.
It houses our Air Force's espionage material. No, how is that not secret?
It no longer does. Area 51 is no longer
Area
classified.
51 was like...
Yeah. There's no reason why the Air Force would, because
do you want to go into
it's so popular
theories?
To what it was.
Do you want to turn this into a Joe Rogan podcast?
Oh God, don't bring up
Joe Rogan.
All right, look.
Anyway,
my point.
Go ahead.
My point is, it's very convenient that Area 51 got really popular in the 50s once the CIA started overthrowing legitimate democracies, because the U.S. citizens didn't really care about that because, hey, there might be aliens at Area 51.
We were also going to the moon.
It's very convenient that was put out. But,
there's a famous quote that says Area 51 distracts you from Area 50 and 52.
No, Area 51 is a distraction from Area 102, which has double the aliens.
Christ. Anyway, if you maybe for Halloween we'll dive into like conspiracy theories and the best ones, but
yeah, hit up Joe Rogan.
We could talk about cults.
Yeah.
Heaven's Gate. Yeah.
Well, so other trailers we got 21 Bridges.
What's that?
That was it's the premise is it's like some sort of a crime happens. It might have been a terrorist attack. I don't remember too much of what happened. But basically it's like there's 21 bridges in and out of like New York.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where it's like his cousin that committed the crime, and he's got to catch his cousin.
Something
like
sort.
that. He
Yeah.
definitely knows the kid.
What is this?
But there's 21 bridges in and out of New York, and they have to close all of them.
Now that looks good. I think that movie actually looked really intense, and I wanted to see it.
I thought it was like another sequel to 21
I just
Jump
forgot
Street.
the name of it.
So we have Mayans MC, which is a spin-off of Sons of Anarchy.
Is it season 2?
I would assume so.
Yeah, they're on the 2nd or 3rd now. Sons of Anarchy was really good.
It was.
I got it. It's another old show that I should finish.
Yeah. We have Creep Show. I'm not too familiar with that one.
Creep.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is I think it's the finale, isn't it? Is this the final season?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well,
I think you missed one. I think you missed Crisis on Infinite Earths too. For
Marvel?
No, for DC. The Arrowverse on the CW. Arrow's entering its last season, and they're going to do a Crisis on Infinite Earths. Brandon Routh is going to return as Superman. I think you missed that one on your list.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Like I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
And then we have the Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance, which is like more cat people. I think Jim Henson has something to do with it, but anyway. Yeah, so that was San Diego Comic-Con of 2019. Don't think we're going to get too much more this year when in terms of announcements.
We might get something small at NYC about Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I forgot NYC is
because Benedict Wong is going to be there, and he's definitely going to get grilled.
It's a weird way to say Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, Benedict Wong.
Yeah, no, I know he is. I'm sorry.
He's his own person.
So anyway,
really getting elaborate of misspelling his last name.
We're gonna move on from San Diego Comic-Con because also while we're away, a movie I was really looking forward to released called Midsummer. We had a big conversation at the end of our last episode.
That was the Emoji Movie 2.
Yeah, it was Angry Birds 2 actually. Medea Boo 2.
There is a Boo 2.
I know. So Midsummer released. I saw it with my girlfriend Alexis. First thing I'll come off the bat and say, Mungie, you definitely couldn't have been able to see this movie because it was not scary. It was not a scary movie in the sense of what it was doing. There were some scenes that had some gore.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't. Sisto saw Hereditary with me, and Hereditary is pretty. It's pretty terrifying in what it did.
That is true.
And Midsummer was a different type of horror. It was more like damn, these white people are crazy type of horror.
Yeah, that was the vibe I was getting from the reviews.
Yeah.
Like because it's about a cult. It's essentially. I mean, I shouldn't say it's a cult. It's more like.
It's a cult.
No, it's kind of like.
Are y'all with the cult?
It's more about like American people encountering a culture they're not familiar with and being terrified by it.
So, isn't that takes place in Sweden or something?
Yes,
like that?
it takes place in a small community in Sweden, like northern Sweden.
So that's just their like.
It's not a legitimate community in Sweden, but like it's like, that's what the premise was. It's
like a tribe almost
to a degree. It's just a small village. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so the main premise was the main character. She's a woman. I forget her name. She has a really bad family tragedy. Her sister was bipolar and killed her and her family with carbon monoxide. And so in the wake of that tragedy, her boyfriend was also in the process of trying to break up with her. And so then that tragedy happened, and then he kind of was like, I can't do this now. Like, I would be a total asshole if I did. So anyway, he was going on a trip to Sweden because he's a history major, and he's going to write his thesis on, he's looking for inspiration for his thesis. And another one of his friends is also a history major who is doing his thesis on the Midsummer tradition, which is done done in Sweden. It was done in like the UK, because there are actual midsummer festivals that are held in the world in actual real life. But one of their friends was Swedish, and he was part of this community that had a midsummer tradition. And so that's the premise of the movie: is they're going to Sweden to experience this midsummer's tradition, and it eventually evolves into more and more madness as they start experiencing what the traditions actually evolve with. They had they have a scene where after a certain age, their elders are no longer considered useful, so they're killed. They commit suicide. And then there's more stuff like psychedelics. There's sex rituals and stuff like that. And then there's and then the finale is two out of the people that died, including the two elders that commit suicide, the two people are willingly kill themselves as they are set on fire in a house, and that kind of just concludes the ceremony. I'm not going to spoil it too much because it's one of those. It's like Hereditary. It's worth it going in not knowing too much of what's going on. But I did. So I had the issue of going into this movie and say with my girlfriend Alexis, this movie was not something a traditional horror movie goer would expect. It was not a horror movie in the traditional sense, but it was more of an examination of people experiencing a culture they're not familiar with and are terrified with it, and people not knowing how to respect people's cultures. Because there's one character who he takes a leak on a sacred tree, and then they're like he is ultimately things happen to him. But that's like
talk about Will Poulter.
Yeah, he was in Gotham. That's all I know.
Will Poulter.
Yeah. But that was the main horror behind it all, was them experiencing this weird culture. Contrary to Hereditary, which was, straight up demonic possession and stuff like that. It was also symbolically about dealing with grief and stuff, but Midsommar was more about people dealing with a culture that they're not familiar with and kind of the ignorance of American people. But other than that, I had the issue of going in thinking I was going to see Hereditary 2. And this movie...
Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And in this movie, so Hereditary had, the way it was structured was that the first half of the movie builds up to a point, and then there's a huge incident that happens in the first half hour of the movie that is shocking to the crowd. It's very hard to digest what happens, and then there's kind of two peaks when it comes to the movie. It peaks at the first part where something tragic, the tragic event happens in Hereditary. It goes down, and then it comes back up at the climax, and then obviously it concludes with a downslope. I thought Midsommar was going to do something familiar to that, or similar to that, because the way the plot was structured was they did have a tragic event happen in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and I was expecting that something major is going to happen at the end too. That's not what happened. It kind of, the rest of the movie, it peaked at the tragic event.
It sounds like it's a very straightforward movie from the beginning.
It was very straightforward
it's very linear, I would say.
Yeah, to the point that, so Hereditary, there was a lot of mystery. You didn't know what was going on until the last 5 minutes of the movie. You had no idea what the fuck was happening. And then with Midsommar, there were scenes with lines that explicitly told you what was going to happen. So there was one scene with the Swedish friend who was the one bringing them there, and he was relating to the stages in life, to the seasons.
Wait, so the Swedish friend they have is in that cult?
Yes. He brought them there so that the two history majors could observe it, because one of them was doing a thesis paper on the Midsommar event.
What a fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot.
But anyway.
I did like how they put it in the middle of summer.
You're funny.
I don't know what else to say about the movie.
Midsummer in Sweden is probably like mid-March in America. Just gotta think.
Yeah. But so what happened is that, in that scene, he's relating to the ages to the seasons, And then after like 76, he's like, that's winter, and that's when everything dies. And or he was like, after this, because he was like, winter is from like 67 to like 78, something. I don't remember the exact ages.
Yeah.
But afterward, and then the main character, the main female lead, looks at him and was like, so what happens when they after 78? And he looks at him and he does like does the head chopped off motion like with his hands like he's like they're done, and like they kind of brush it off like
their culture should do that.
Well, yeah, well they kind of like just brush it off like ha 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 ha.
There's actually a whole Star Trek episode devoted to that.
Yeah, that's what in my notes I wrote that this movie just felt like a Star Trek episode of Kirk going down to a paradise.
There was
world.
literally a Next Generation episode where there was a scientist who was doing research on a sun in order to save his home planet. The research backfired, and someone says like, well, at least you have time because your planet won't be doomed for another 30 years, so you can conduct the research. And then it's just like, no, I don't. I turn 60 next year. I turn 60 next week, and that's when he realizes he goes to his planet to die, and it's like this ritual that's part of his planet. And it's actually played by Charles from MASH, which he does fabulous in, but. Yeah, it was a Star Trek episode.
This movie seemed like, because the entire population of the village, they're all happy, they all love each other, they're all like one big family, and so that's what I meant. That like it seemed like one of those Star Trek episodes. Usually, they were in the original series, where they would go down to a utopia world and realize it's not all of what it seems.
Yeah.
So that's what this movie seemed to like it was. So and I had issue with the dialogue kind of taking away some of the mystery of it. I thought the characters were kind of thin because there was the stereotypical asshole. There was
thin characters in a horror movie?
Who would have guessed?
Look,
there's a stereotypical jock?
I'm comparing this to Hereditary.
Okay.
And Hereditary had some pretty deep characters because they all had a tragic event that they all dealt with.
You're right.
So in comparison to this, like the actor from Batman or from Gotham, he was the asshole that pissed on the tree and just didn't give a shit and just wanted to get high and wanted to fuck. Like that was his character.
And you never see that in a horror movie.
Yeah, and that's such a played character in horror movies that it's saturated. You don't want to see that anymore. But I there was not a lot of build up to what the payoff was. The final scene wasn't rectifying at all. And I just felt like it was a very cut and dry movie to what I was expecting to see, and people loved this movie. They thought Midsommar was great, and it was in a traditional sense. This movie was shot brilliantly and had an awesome soundtrack. It was really great. It was a beautiful, beautiful movie, but I think the people that liked it the most were the ones that had no prior experience to this director.
Okay.
You're right.
To what I was expecting. And I will say that I ruined it for myself because I was expecting Hereditary too. I do think I should watch this movie again, going in with more of a clear mind of what to expect, because I want to be able to, because I was waiting the whole movie waiting for
the
try
twist.
to connect the dots. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just not what had happened. But like there was reviews saying that this movie felt like it was written by the devil itself. Like I just didn't feel like that. But some people liked it, and I'll completely for that. But like, it wasn't what I was hoping for. But I'll leave it up to you guys to see it. I'll leave it up to the audience to see if you have any comments about how you thought the movie was, how any opinions, any critiques on my own critique. Like, I'm completely open to it. But I will conclude that a big detraction from this, and one of the reasons I don't like seeing horror movies in the theaters anymore, is that the audience started to laugh at scenes because of how strange they were. And that completely was like, that took me out of the movie. Because I couldn't take in for what was happening because everyone was laughing, and I couldn't take in with the...
Well, it's what I would do if we watched it together, because I gotta laugh in order to not
get through it.
Yeah, but like, it's not that people were laughing because they were afraid. They were laughing because it was a strange event that was going on.
So like awkwardness, kind of.
Yeah, and then when the movie cut to black and then it faded to black, someone screamed in the crowd, "I want my money back!" Like it was a ruined experience for me, and then as a
It's
whole.
like What's About Time in Hollywood, where the guy is just like in the middle of the end, and he's just like, well, no, the credits roll, and he's just like, man, I love this fucking movie.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, it was like, you're really gonna spoil it right now.
It's not a spoiler.
But anyway, that was my review of Midsummer. Like I said,
I did
Please-
like it that they
please see
released
it.
Midsummer in the middle of the summer.
please see it for yourself, and come back with any, comments. I'm open to conversation. I love talking about this kind of shit. So
All right, so
my final topic that I have here is so there's a subreddit that's pretty popular called r/shower thoughts. And what it is, it's just people posting little like things because the concept behind it is that in the shower you do your best thinking.
Okay.
So
do my
you
best
have
thinking while driving, but
yeah, but anyway, the
I
shower,
know,
the shower is what you do your best thinking, and that these people kind of make these galaxy brain type like revelations, and
Or it's
and they try to like out galaxy brain each other in their philosophical statements and like realizations of the world. But anyway, some of these are great. Like I have a few of the best of here. And there's one here that says being able to do well in high school without having to put in much effort is actually a big disadvantage later in life. And that's a good big brain thought and a revelation.
yeah, that is true.
Here's another one. Anxiety is like when video game combat music is playing but you can't find any enemies. Whatever.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the final one, 11 babies being born in Antarctica and none of them died as infant, meaning Antarctica has the lowest infant mortality rate at 0%.
I was actually I saw that one and it made me think where it was just like, would they be an Antarctic citizen though?
Well,
Or
considering
Antarctica is not considered it's considered neutral ground.
it's
Yeah.
a joint. It's like more like a research base.
Yeah.
So
Until
you would
the
have
ice
the
caps
nationality
melt.
of the parents' birth.
Until the ice caps melt and Australia wants it because it's the closest to them.
But I got
conspiracy.
three more. We have when you're a kid, you don't realize you're watching your mom and dad grow up. That's
Oh,
true.
Yeah.
Girls don't compliment guys because they're likely to take it non-platonically. Guys take it non-platonically because it happens so infrequently they don't know how to handle it.
I call Sisto beautiful like 3 times a day.
And then
That's true.
this one, I think you'll like
That
this
is a
one,
shower
Mungie.
thought.
I think you're gonna like this one,
Oh,
Mungie.
God, why would I
Is
like this one?
is everyone hates being sung happy birthday. Everyone hates singing happy birthday. So why the fuck are we doing it?
Wait, why do I like that?
Now, there's one that I just saw. The guy who killed Batman's parents saved tons of lives.
Yeah.
The guy that killed Batman's parents.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Well, I mean,
So there's some good ones.
yeah.
There's some good ones there, but
Probably
like
saved Jason Todd some head trauma, yeah.
so what you can do is that
Sorry.
when you search by new, you get this is a really popular subreddit. There's hundreds of thousands of people on this subreddit, so it's constantly being posted on.
It's not our sandwich or bread
That's a popular
Yeah,
subreddit too. Don't you shit talk on that one.
or our potato salad.
So, and then there's like I said, it's an entire subreddit to people dedicating themselves to outsmarting themselves or outsmarting each other and doing like big brain, galaxy brain type thinking.
All right, what are they?
So this is the first one I saw on New, and it said, "Saw a sex on Earth ceiling. Looked like a cloud was having sex. LOL."
You want to hear
Can
one
you
that I
repeat
just saw
that?
new?
What?
I want to go over one I just saw new. The reason why someone may remember an event differently from someone else is possibly because our consciousness travel between different parallel universes where things may have been only slightly different every time we go to sleep. The fuck kind of shit is that?
Like I said, galaxy
What
brain.
the fuck?
But to repeat what
Oh,
this
yeah.
one was,
Big
is
brain time.
it said, "I saw sex on the Earth ceiling. Sex is also censored.
I saw sex on Earth ceiling.
on Earth ceiling. Looked like cloud was having sex. LOL."
LOL.
I,
Yeah, that becomes.
that sounds
the
like
top
a stoner
comment-
thought.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
And
Yeah.
the top comment is, "How high are you?" And the reply to that is, "Hi, how are you?" So, okay, that's one. And then
I thought it was just gonna be yes.
here's a big brain revelation here. I'm talking top tier. Chris Evans would be unattractive if he was overweight. That's what someone thought.
You know how many people hated Fat Thor?
Oh, I know. I wasn't a fan of it either. But like, that's what people. This person woke up in the morning and thought that
Man,
people deserve.
If a dude wasn't ripped, he'd be really unattractive.
Yeah, like they were supposedly sitting in their shower or standing in their shower, and that's the revelation they came to. That's when the universe
Gaffigan
stopped.
was ripped. I'm sure she would have thought it was hot, and that was another shower thought they probably had.
God.
Jim Gaffigan, you're.
But one of the
beautiful.
comments is, "That's America's stomach."
That's America's stomach.
Yeah.
It's America's ass. That was such a great thing.
Here's another one. Spider-Man is probably very good at fingering.
What? Until his hand gets stuck.
No!
I don't know why. That's what this person thought.
He plays piano. That's what he's talking about. That was the shower thought.
Oh, wow.
Spider-Man plays really good piano.
Yeah, and the comments are, until his hand gets stuck. Thanks, I hate it. And how?
Here's one that was posted 10 minutes ago. I am a beaver.
Ba-ba-dee, ba-ba-da. So, like, this is, I don't get some of these. So, this one's completely misspelled, and they say clocks have hands, but scurnily they more feel like arms. And the top comment is r/I had a stroke.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so like I said, some of these are
r/I had a stroke. That's fucked up. Oh my
another one.
God.
In all of Adam Sandler's recent movies, he plays the same character.
Man,
He just plays some grouchy middle-aged guy just at the end of his rope.
All right,
It's
so
like that Twitter where it was just like, Bond, the name James. Please stop. What? Bond, name James. Are you okay? Name's Bond is having a stroke. Call a Bondulance.
here's another one. The fact a dick is sometimes nicknamed a hammer when a ball peen hammer looks like a dick and balls could not be a coincidence.
No. Mike,
What?
just read this real quick.
I'm not reading that out loud.
Okay.
I'm not looking at
It's
that.
fucked up.
Here's another one. You don't need hands or legs to roll around on the ground.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, he
Sure.
came to that conclusion. One of the comments.
The cowardly lion from The Wizard of Oz was the original scaredy cat.
God.
It's so cheesy.
Well, one of the comments on the rolling on the ground one, it says you'll need them to get up afterwards.
The real challenge for actors is having to hide their cry eyes when go from a sad scene to a happy scene. It's deep, man. Pants go on your legs.
Here you go, Mungie. This is a good one. The McRib might be coming back this October or November.
Wait, what?
That's the shower thought.
What was it?
The McRib might come back again this October or November.
So you guys don't get that joke. Mike's girlfriend used to work at McDonald's, and every time she would ask, "Hey, do you guys want stuff?" I would always ask for a McRib, and then when she quit, the McRib came back.
Did it?
The McRib was a limited time thing that comes back every fall.
Just like the Shamrock Shake.
Shamrock Shakes, you can get them in like August because like they buy too much stuff.
Maybe the reason that Star Wars sequences 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 is to refer to the way Yoda speaks.
Sure.
Moose in plural isn't referred to as meese.
Here's one. Arizona sound like arid zone.
The word deadline is oddly threatening.
The what?
The
The what?
The word deadline is oddly threatening.
Sure. If they say so.
Oh my god.
Here's one. We used to hit them with the clubs. Now we hit them with the law.
The more times someone says very in the phrase a very long time, the shorter than long time is.
Street lamps
I
are
don't
just
know.
long regular
This gave me a
lamps.
headache to read.
Cell phones are similar to cells in a prison, stuck in it.
Toenails are fingers.
That's why it's calling a cell phone.
Toenails are fingernails for your toes.
Oh, wow.
I got
Big
this one.
brain.
That's a big brain.
Shower thought 48 minutes ago. I'm calling Papa John's.
Talking. Talking
God.
is slow rapping.
That's a good one.
Oh, man, this is a good one. The Lorax can speak to the trees because he knows Vietnamese.
Aww. Oh.
Oh my god. Krypton blowing up saved more lives than Batman's parents being killed. Jesus Christ.
That's true.
Yeah, good point.
Zod would have.
If you eat an ant eater, you become an ant eater eater. The fuck, people?
If toothpaste, toothbrushes never existed, teeth would probably be a symbol of youth. Okay.
I mean, I could see that.
You know shit has gotten real when a gorilla goes ape shit. You can't skydive twice without a parachute.
Pokemon trainers are actually
No,
very abusive.
Are you just gonna go to Drake Bell and say, "Hey, did you go skydiving? I heard 9 out of 10."
First you're gonna squat.
Oh.
Then you're gonna pray. Leap. And touchdown.
Well, what was it? There's 1 in 5 people don't even make it to the ground.
Where did they go?
It's just what do you mean they don't make it to the ground? Where do they go?
Here's another one. Washing machines are never dirty.
Oh my god.
Yes, they are.
When you disrespect someone, you actually lose respect.
Ooh.
Shots fired, dude. Shots
The
fired.
fancier the house, the harder the trash can is defined.
That is so true. That is so true. That is actually a good shower thought.
Here's one. Harry Potter is not the boy who lived. He is the boy who didn't die. And the top comment is, so he lived.
No.
And not dying is living. Pictures are 2D images of 3D shapes. Tag,
God.
mind-blowing.
You have been waiting your entire life to eat your next meal.
What? I guess. I
That's just a hot take.
Leopards
guess.
are crappy off-brand cheetahs.
Alright, so this is the final one I have here, I think. And it's, if you don't make your shot into a trash can and you can't yell Kobe, you can always use Nobi.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's, shower thoughts can be a cesspool of people trying to make big brain,
I like that.
thoughts, and
Definitely
sometimes it
joining
doesn't
that
work.
subreddit.
Yeah,
Definitely
I mean,
joining
some
that
of them
one.
are good, but some of them are shit. We've been reading. But yeah, so we're gonna move on from shower thoughts for right now. Because Sisto has his. We're gonna move into a segment of fits of rage.
Yep. Here
Super
we
Mario
go.
Maker 2 came out, so
Let's get triggered, baby. So, Super Mario Maker 2, one of the more recent AAA releases by Nintendo. Yeah, I've been waiting for this game forever because it's basically the Infinite Mario game. You can play an infinite amount of levels. You can play them online. You can play them multiplayer. I just want to do a quick review of what my thoughts are before I tell you how mad I actually get playing this game. So the game's phenomenal. I know it's a little hard to believe considering, this is Fits of Rage, and I've obviously gotten very mad at this fucking game. But basically, you can play any type of levels you want. But the easy levels that come up aren't necessarily easy. It's just about how much you actually want to try them.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing with Mario. Somebody like me, I like to be not guided through a game, but I like to get whatever I can done in one fucking shot. Mm-hmm. And the fact about Mario is you just can't fucking do that all the time. So every time I die, I just get fucking pissed that I got to try it all over again. Usually, people will be assholes and put hidden blocks in there when you're trying to jump and you'll hit a fucking spike. And... yeah, that fucking sucks part of the game. Yeah, fuck that part of the game. That's one of my least favorite parts.
Or like dev doors and stuff.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. The lava will be rising. Get the fuck out of here. Brianna, my girlfriend, actually took many fucking videos of me playing this game, which are quite embarrassing. However, I will have them being sent to Mike. They're mild. I'd say rather mild, but they're for your enjoyment. So yeah, the multiplayer aspect is like... it's like 4 people. They just race till the end, the end of the map. Yeah, that fucking sucks. It never works.
Yeah, I heard the online doesn't do too well.
Yeah, because everything's peer-to-peer. Usually, they don't have a server, so it's peer-to-peer connection, and that fucking blows. So that one wasn't doing very good. Also, with that, you find a lot of nice things in the actual course developing tool. They've taken pretty much every major Mario title that was platformer based in the 2D sense, except 3D land. I thought that was cool that they implemented some of the 3D land aspects into it, like some of the techniques and physics in it, and it looks awesome. The game style looks breathtaking, considering you can go back from 8-bit to 16-bit to fully HD, and each game looks phenomenal. Like you feel like you're playing a modern game each time you play one of those styles. The item selection is good. You can pretty much freely put anywhere where you want. Another thing I have to say about my review of this game is the community. Facebook groups, Reddit posts, like everybody's just so willing to play your maps, and you can play other people's maps, and YouTubers especially. I'm a huge Nintendo YouTuber follower. So all those guys that I watch, I can actually interact with them in a way by playing their levels. And I think that's a good thing that should be highlighted by Mario Maker, is that it allows you to connect to people that you don't know, but in a way to provide positive feedback and positive connection with somebody by playing a video game. And that's awesome because there's no chat system. There's a little bit of a comment system, but it gets filtered out really quickly on the possible levels. And another thing, Arby's made the level. And your base, I fucking hated it. I was just not good at it, so I raged at it a shit ton of times. It took me until 2 a.m. to beat when I started it at 12. It was annoying, but I think that's pretty awesome that a company like Arby's, I know they've been doing a lot of stuff with like anime and video game pop culture, but you get to interact with the fucking corporation. And also Logic, the rapper, he makes his own Mario levels, so you can play them. That's like I played his and beat them. So you get to interact with people that some people see as heroes, and it's a way to actually humanize these people and these corporations that you see so high. So I think that's another thing that Mario Maker should be highlighted on, because just the accessibility of other people's creations and just the appreciation and the positivity that goes around. Except for the fucking kaiju levels, fuck those. Kaiju levels are like the ones that like sneak up on you with all the hidden blocks and the spikes and the pinpoint accuracy. Or Kaizen, I forget. Kaiju or Kaizen, I'm sorry.
Because Kaiju is like, they're monsters.
So Kaizen is
I'm not sure.
Kaizen. Well, technically, shower thought, all of the Mario games are Kaiju movies.
Because of Bowser? I guess, to a degree. Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So, basically, I'm going to give Mario, it gets an S tier. In the tier list of Mario games, it is a game that if you have a Switch, you have to get. The story mode has over 100-something levels in it. And the story mode does not feel repetitive. There's themes of almost every level. There's creative themes that actually inspire you on how to make levels as you go. not every level, there are easy levels, there are really hard levels. Every level has a different difficulty tier, which is really cool. Some are more replayable than others. Like some you want to play more and more to grind, because the premise of the game is that you collect coins to rebuild Peach's castle, which I think is really cool because it adds worth to coins.
Yeah.
Which is something you just kind of collected for extra lives in previous games.
Mario, there's never really been a huge need for coins,
but now there is. So so I think that was really cool. I don't know, have you played it yet?
No, I played the first Mario Maker, so I know what to expect. I haven't gotten it yet. It's just not within my realm of being like, it's not. But my birthday is coming up, so I may or may not have asked my girlfriend to get it for me because I'm that boyfriend. But
I'm telling you, it's up there with Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild, of games that you must have. If you don't have those games, those are the first games you should get when you get a Switch. It's S tier. I give it a 9.5 to 10 out of 10. The only thing I don't like is basically how hard it is to use the first party controllers with it, because you want to use a D-pad on Mario Maker. You want to use your D-pad, and the D-pads on the first party controllers are not necessarily that good. So my best recommendation is get an 8-bit DO controller, the SN30 Pro, perfect controller for platformers. It's really good. It's only like $50. It's got Rumble in it, so it's actually a pretty usable controller. It's got 2 thumbsticks, so it just has a feel of an SNES controller, which is one of the best controllers for platformers that a lot of YouTubers have said.
Well, can you use the Joy-Con on, like,
you
on
can,
the side?
And it's actually one of the more comfortable ways
I would
to play.
think it would. I think it would.
So
be.
you honestly, if you sit there with split Joy-Cons and not in the holder, it's so much more comfortable, especially when building, because it just allows for a wider stance, so it's a less.
I was more
strenuous.
like asking, like, you can flip it on to its side and like hold it like that controller.
Yep, you can share the Joy.
Okay,
share the Joy on it.
It's cool. So I'm not sure if this is true or if I just misread it, but I heard that, like, with the pad, the actual Switch, like the I don't know what the better word to describe it.
The dock.
Not the dock, but like the actual like screen that comes in and out of it. I heard that there was an issue, like you can't use touch controls with the map making, or is that not true?
You can use touch controls, but it's really difficult because it's such a small screen. You know how you had a stylus on the Wii U pad? You don't have that, and it doesn't. I don't think it supports styluses. And the screen is actually, I think, slightly bigger, if not the same size on that. Plus, you actually mirrored that on the TV when you play with it. So that's where all the custom on the Wii U-pad. That's where all the customization materials are. However, the game's actually happening on the screen. So it's a different hood interface. It's best to actually create levels in dock mode because it's a way better experience. From the way I've done it, because I've done it in tabletop mode, I've done it in portable mode, and I did level making in dock mode. I got the most accomplished in dock mode. And tabletop mode was second, but the worst is handheld. Which leads me to the next. But yeah, Fits of Rage. I'll give Michael some. I'll give him some videos to put in when I get a hold of Brianna, and hopefully he can edit them in there. And
of course,
you can just see how badly. And then I'm just gonna give him a segue and roll the tape. See, how is that fair? That was complete fucking bullshit, dude. How does that happen like that? Such bullshit, dude.
Okay.
So yeah, as you see, I'm not. I can be a little untwined playing that game. However, I want to move on to some other Nintendo news. As has been released lately, and as of August 4th, I think August 3rd too, it got released. There's been a new hardware patch to the Nintendo Switch. It's new CPU and storage hit the shelves in new Nintendo Switches. Basically, it just announces that it just runs games a little cleaner in handheld mode, and it also has a battery upgrade. I think for trying to see the stats of how long it'll last compared compared to it. But I think instead of 3 hours now, which was the older one, it runs more like 4.5, which is really good.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. Yeah, but anyway, it's an upgraded, statistically shown upgraded battery in the new Switch, and it's all leading up to the grand scheme of a Switch Lite. And the Switch Lite is going to be a cheaper option for the Switch. That's portable mode only. It can't be docked. It can't be projected up to a screen or a TV. It can only be used handheld, which I think is one of Nintendo's most brilliant ideas. Considering, and oddly enough, it has not been announced as a replacement to the 3DS, but I think it'll pretty much take all the stake away, considering it's only like $50 more at $199 than like a 3DS is like $139, something like that, $129.
Yeah, so the thing with... Go ahead, Mungie.
What do you guys think, though? Because I'm still on the fence about getting it.
Well, you said you wanted a PS4 Pro because you're having issues with your PS...
aside from the Pro, let's put the Pro aside, because I got to get it because my personal one's a lawnmower, but that's the other one.
So, would you play Switch games sitting down, or would you get a Switch only because you can play it in handheld?
I was actually on board when it came out, so it's just...
What games would you play for it? Just spit me out some names.
The ones, like Breath of the Wild, Odyssey.
Okay.
I'm excited for Doom.
Doom,
Doom on Switch?
Yeah,
Doom,
you didn't know? They already ported the original Doom.
Coming over.
I'll get Doom Eternal on a Pro if that came out.
The regular Doom.
Well, yeah, I would get. Switch. I'm not talking about the new Doom. I'm talking about
original Doom.
Original Doom.
2016.
Yeah.
And actually, they released all the old Dooms.
That's what I'm talking about.
On there too.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That wouldn't be the incentive for me.
Really?
Well, I mean, I'm talking from a personal perspective.
Who already owns one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you should. I'm just trying to put you in the right frame of mind here. If you want something like the Switch is going to be the more family-oriented console where you can plug it in, you can have more than one Joy-Con, you can play party games. This one is this is just more handheld. It can run these complex games, like it'll be able to run The Witcher. It'll be able to run Doom, all these intensive games, but in the power of your hands and in a smaller form factor.
I think I'll wait.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be at a price point of $200, which if you're just purely either A, going to be on the go a lot, or B, you mainly, if you're going to sit down and play a game, you're going to play something graphically intensive, you're going to want to play it on basically PS4. This is if you want those Nintendo exclusives. This is if you want to play, at least online, if you want to play Mario Kart, if you want to play Mario Party. Well, not Mario Party. I wouldn't get Mario Party for it. If you want to play... Why would... Yeah, because it's purely handheld.
I thought you were just saying... excuse me.
No,
I thought
I
you were talking
understand.
about entirely as
Yeah,
a
Mario
Switch.
Party is a A to B tier game. Definitely get it. It just gets redundant.
Well, it's Mario Party.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
The last one that was added was the basically you're on a road trip.
With Mario.
Yeah, like you're rowing the boat.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's like the mini game. That's like the mini game mode.
Do you think they should release like a old school style Mario Party with like today's like?
You know, that'll be a Nintendo Switch Online exclusive.
I never owned one personally, but. Yeah,
I think you should buy it if you want to play online with like not Breath of the Wild, but any like Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers. If you want to play those just sitting down chilling, it's a perfect thing to get. If you want to play
the Switch I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. What were you
Could you use the Switch Lite as an additional controller?
No.
That'd be really
because it's its own separate system.
That'd be really cool if you could, though.
It would be really cool. And one thing I did hear is they were trying to make it compatible with your home Switch. This way you can kind of like PS Vita it and take games on the go with you, like save files, split save files.
So buy two consoles, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why I'm on the thing. Cause
I say that knowing that Nintendo's already had its entire history has been their big consoles and then their handhelds being compatible with each other. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think maybe because it's still a Switch that it makes it feel like I'm buying another console to play with my console. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
But
Maybe
if you want to play Super Mario Odyssey, if you want to play any of the Mario games, you should get it. It's a great. There's so many great games on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
There are over 500 hours worth of great video games.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I point out 500 hours is because that's a lot of people have trouble getting into games that aren't visually breathtaking, as say The Witcher or thank you. Or Spider-Man PS4 or even Doom. People get enticed in those games because it's an immersive experience.
Yeah, and I personally say that I'm a victim to that because I like being sucked in.
Same here.
And that's one of the reasons why, with The Witcher, I feel like people are not going to get the experience that the developers originally put out for it because of how visually breathtaking the original Witcher is. And it's going to have to be scaled down for the Switch, which is disappointing for me, but, I get it. But,
But yeah, Fire Emblem Three Houses, very immersive game experience. Each house takes at least 70 hours to beat. Mm-hmm. Dragon Quest Builders, very good game. Takes a lot of time. It's like a Minecraft style-esque game, but it's not as shallow as Minecraft. There's way more to do. It's got a story mode, everything. Breath of the Wild is probably one of the most immersive games in history. Just to buy it takes at least 130 hours, depending on your play pattern.
Probably more.
Probably yeah.
Well,
I can
Mark
imagine.
Mark 15. Went out and got all the Korok seeds.
I was saying
Korok seeds.
I was talking about that.
Fun fact about Korok
seeds.
It
took 3 weeks of his life, and somebody was just like, "I don't think it'd be really noticed." And I was just like, "Yeah, I did because every waking hour we went to your house, he was trying to get the seed."
Oh yeah, he was on a Switch constantly.
It was intense.
Korok seeds are actually Korok poop.
Yeah, and that's.
I mean, isn't every
spoiler? I think that's what you get as a reward for getting.
You get
the shower thought.
It literally
every
looks
egg
exact.
is a bird poop.
What?
No,
because bird poop is actually bird poop.
Yeah, but if you lay an egg.
But yeah, my reaction to the Switch
Put
Lite.
it on our shower thoughts.
I think the Switch Lite is a perfect acquisition to the Switch family because it also allows more families to get immersed in it. Maybe if you don't have as much money, this is something a child can save up for. At $200, a child can save up for this rather well. If a kid's birthday comes up, he's easily going to get about $200 that he can spend. Instead of playing it on something, instead of paying for, a DS, why not put Switch in their hands? I'm just going to go over some of the technical aspects. See what I did there?
That's an amazing segue, Sisto.
Thank you. Of the Switch Lite. So it's going to have it's still going to project at 720, which I didn't really expect anything different. It makes no sense to have a cheaper console on anything higher.
Yeah.
Because, it kind of defeats the purpose putting a 1080p processor in there when when you're trying to hit a $200 price point, you're just going to lose money all day. So sticking with the 720p is pretty good. It's going to be a little bit sharper, obviously, because that new processor they're putting in it. It's going to have better battery life. It's purely a console that is going to be on the go, which is great because every time you see kids in public are attached to nothing but their screens. So put a video game in their hands instead of a phone. It's going to have a 5.5-inch touch display compared to the 6.2 inch it's had. This is all from The Verge, by the way. I'm just reading it off. I didn't memorize any of this or find any of myself. It's just going to be basically Joy-Cons attached to the side. It's basically going to size up to a Switch with one of its Joy-Cons taken off. That's pretty much how the whole length of it's going to be.
Okay.
And there was also a Pokemon Sword and Shield version announced as well, which is gray with blue buttons and red buttons on either side.
I did like the black color, but... Or the gray color of...
The gray? Yeah,
I was going to say black, it's
I
gray.
like the yellow and the turquoise the most, but I just go for bolder colors.
I always just go for neutral just because I'm just like, yeah it's nice until it gets dirty.
Yeah. So I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on the Switch Lite. I'm super excited by it. I don't think I'm going to buy one because I like my regular Switch, but it's going to be nice to see some more people getting introduced into it. And if they do have cross compatibility, I might actually buy it for a portable system, because right now I even want to get 2 docks so I can put one down the basement and one in my room. So,
all right, well, I'm back.
yeah, and Mike's back, so I think we should segue into the next.
Yeah, so
The one that I know Mike and Mungie will have some input in, because we all saw E3. How about that game, The Outer Worlds? Former developers on Fallout, I think 3 and New Vegas.
No, from the original creators of the original Fallout in New Vegas. The Fallout 3 was different. Obsidian wasn't in Fallout 3. Yeah.
So Fallout New Vegas, they obviously had a falling out with Bethesda. Bethesda had a lot of layoffs between that time, and a lot of people quit because they didn't like the direction the company was going. So then, then you had Fallout 4.
We're going to have distant weather systems. The biggest Fallout we have ever had.
That was by far the best video that sums up 76.
Pretty much. Yeah, so shout out to the internet historian who did an entire video on Fallout 76. It's about a half hour.
And Country Roads just slowly dissolved into like an 8-bit mess.
He just released a half-hour video about the 2011 Doomsday guy that predicted the world was ending in May. Do you remember that? Do you remember that at all? Yeah, well, he did a video about it, and it's fucking awesome.
It ended in May because Fallout 76 was released.
What was that?
And it ended in May because Fallout 76 was released?
No, it's just... Anyway, sorry. Not to distract,
But no, The Outer Worlds, pretty much a Fallout-esque game. I guess we could put it in the same field as how Metroidvania games kind of got their start. I think the Fallout-esque games, Outer Worlds, it's actually getting a post-launch port to the Switch. So the Nintendo Switch will have its first Fallout-style game in the form of The Outer Worlds, which I think is a huge fucking blow to Bethesda. Bethesda has had some of the better ports. Skyrim was a great port. Doom was a great port, all by Panic Button, which has been renowned as the best port company that makes the ports for the games.
Mm-hmm.
And Panic Button's not doing Outer Worlds. I forget the name of the studio that's doing it, but it's not Panic Button. So a lot of people are actually getting pins and needles about it. But you got to think the fact that we're getting such an immersive game on the Switch with supposedly a new engine, you got to wonder, it's going to be just like anything N64 ran, or even some of the later games on the Super Nintendo system, how they would kick the butts of those consoles to points where you're finding everything unbelievable. And one of the main gripes I have about video games now is a lot of people talk shit on the Switch because, and I don't want to throw shade at anybody, but they think it can't handle these newer games because it's Switch, and games like The Witcher would run like shit on them. And you gotta think, people could have said that easily about some of the later SNES games, or even some of the later Nintendo 64 games, and even GameCube. So you gotta think, what actually can they do? I'm sure it'll drain the battery of the Switch a lot faster if you're in handheld mode, but you, like I said, you don't get a Switch to play graphically intensive games. If you want it for the plot, and you want it because it's accessible, you get it on the Switch. But if you want it because you want a breathtaking, immersible 4K experience, get it on your Pro or Xbox One. I personally have, Xbox. I play my PlayStation 2, but, it's basically pick your poison. But I wouldn't get it on Switch, but I'm curious to see just how well it performs. Because that's a big announcement. Because the Switch has been yearning for an open world game like that ever since Breath of the Wild. Like, we need another open world, non-linear-esque game. And I think we're going to get that with Outer Worlds. I want to see what you guys think on that, though.
I'm very excited for Outer Worlds. It's just like bringing up the Outer Worlds. I want to look forward to it. I'll also get it. But for some reason, it's just like I'm really excited for Outer Worlds, but it keeps bringing me back to, even though it's not Obsidian, I'm worried about Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, yeah, I am too. I think Elder Scrolls, if Elder Scrolls
because
6
they're rushing
tanks,
it because 76 tanks.
Yeah,
so
because
bad.
they have a vacuum now because they have nothing out right now other than 76, who has a dwindling player base right now.
And Elder Scrolls, they will always make money on their Elder Scrolls side games, and also Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online has a very strong fan base.
But still, like, I think if Bethesda tanks the new Elder Scrolls,
that's it.
I think that's at least the end of Todd Howard. I think he'd be done.
I'm surprised their board of directors has faith in Todd Howard.
Oh, yeah,
I
me
cannot
too.
believe it. Because he shows
because of-
no... I'm sorry to interrupt, but he shows no urgency. And the urgency he does show is put to the wrong places.
I think he's too ambitious, and he puts too much weight on his developing team without giving them the time that they need.
Weather systems.
Because, Fallout 76 could have been a great game.
You could have.
But they released it way, 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 way too quickly because they needed something out. Because their last game was Fallout 4, and that was, 4 or 5 years before 76 came out?
3.
3.
3?
I remember getting it when I was in college.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway.
I had its issues, but it was good. It was a good Fallout game.
It wasn't the best.
It wasn't the best.
It wasn't, it was decent. And it's like with the rest of Bethesda's games, they're not entirely too polished, but you take them for what they are. They're Bethesda games. But then 76 came out and just I'm surprised Todd is still where he's at today. But I think if Elder Scrolls does poorly, I think that'd be the end of Todd Howard.
And I mean, you got to think that in the terms of shit Olympics in video games, you got to think there's EA, Blizzard, and Bethesda just battling over who's doing the worst by their fan bases.
Bethesda wasn't doing poorly until 76 came out, I don't think.
But I don't think anyone... I'm surprised people thought that was going to be a good game. As soon as I heard there was no NPCs, I was like, this game's going to be a shit show. Because if they didn't have enough time to develop NPCs, and if they didn't even think about it, what does that say about the rest of the game? They took out a major part of their franchise in the fact of no NPCs. I don't care if it was the first... It's supposed to be the first chronological Fallout. There's still got to be NPCs. And I don't care if it was a gradually added thing because more and more people left the vault. Fuck that.
Then they're just like, we added NPCs. And it's just like... The NPCs.
Finally. At least make it say that as you progress through the game, you see more and more people. But not have it as a patch, potentially a post-game patch. That just adds no replay value. It's going to make you restart hours of grinding to the idiots that actually bought into this game for launch. It's just ridiculous. I think Todd Howard should have been done with as soon as Fallout 4 was released. Because Fallout 4, although it was a strong game, it had some leverage for a little bit, it was not a blockbuster. It was not a legendary game.
They broke... Yeah, but they still broke sales because of 4. Todd Howard wouldn't have lost his job because of 4, even if it was a game glitched bug fest that
he should have,
but it was just like it broke Fallout selling records.
But to really think about it,
because Fallout was never as popular as it was when Fallout 4 came out.
Yeah,
it's a game that increasingly gets popular day by day because it's become almost a cult classic. At least Fallout 3 and New Vegas were, especially New Vegas.
I would like a New Vegas too, please.
But to think about it, maybe us being more okay with Fallout 4 having as many bugs as it did, perhaps gave Todd Howard the insight, maybe thinking that he could pass by how shittily put together 76 was. But so maybe that was not...
because you make it an online format with in-game currency that requires you to pay in order to advance.
I'm not more talking about pay to play because every big AAA company is doing
pay to play.
But it's just like,
I wouldn't be like that.
As much as I hate pay to play, it is something that companies need to do.
Yeah, it's
you
whatever.
need, as a company, if you want to give the player the option to, speed through the game, make them pay for it. It's just, there are still going to be people that go through the game honestly, and it's not going to have anything taken away from them.
I mean...
But if you're going to do pay to play, don't make them godlike, no pun intended, with Quake and all that.
Yeah.
Godlike. But
I know what you're talking about.
Don't make them godlike by paying the play. But at least, if people are going to pay for something that they literally can't do in the game, if there's something you see as visually cool and you want it, if you pay for it.
Yeah, I'm completely for cosmetics being able to be pay to play.
Exactly.
But I don't really want people being able to buy advanced weapons and stuff. That's
once in a while
stupid. But go ahead, Manji.
No, it's just it works. If Fallout 76 was free to play, I would have less issues with the pay-to-play system that they have.
Same.
Because it's I don't know, like in
But
the
it was
past
released
podcasts.
$60 AAA.
Yeah, no.
So-
in the past podcast, I've hyped up War Thunder, and I've splurged once in a while. I've treated myself and bought like premium access stuff because I love the game. I want to encourage continuing support.
Well, I've done the same thing with Elite
But,
Dangerous. I bought cosmetic skins.
Yeah, but Elite
like-
Dangerous was a pay, but that's I did it for a free to play, but it's against the point. But it's just like I've bought like high end tanks, high end planes because it's like I don't feel like advancing. I'll
Yeah,
just
but when
buy
you're
the
Star
fucking
Wars
thing.
Battlefront 2,
But it was a free to play, and
you're
that's why they get away
literally-
with it.
Yeah, and you're literally paying for characters. That's where you got to draw the line. Those need to stay unlockable because that's stuff that's not impossible to get. All you have to do is play the fucking game, and you
Yeah.
can unlock Darth Vader. However, the fact that those characters were fucking locked is a disgrace. If anything, customization options on the characters should be unlockable, but you should be
Caused
able
a
to play
bad
as the base
tangent.
characters.
I apologize.
What was that?
I said I caused a bad tangent. I apologize, but it's just like
It's
we're all
fine,
gonna get
but
mad about our system.
No,
be
because it's
completely
a
honest-
general part of the stigma about games like Outer Worlds. It ties in the end because Outer Worlds is a game that's going to be, it's going to have those issues. It's a mass multiplayer online game.
Yeah,
and
to
their
be
owner
completely
Bob
honest,
Howard doesn't really bode well either.
I don't know too much about Outer Worlds. I know that it's not made by Bethesda, but,
Yeah,
No.
but by a splinter group off of it.
but you know who owns Bethesda? Who owns Obsidian now?
Who?
This dude, Jod Joward.
We have
Sorry.
we have Toad Howard here right now. Here he is. It's Toad Howard.
Oh yeah, you had him off shot just
Everybody
for
get
Toad.
Fallout 76. Weather systems.
Let's we're gonna get a
I see Toad Howard?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fallout 76. Fallout 76. 76 hours is 76 actually represents the hours you put into developing this game.
So, Mungie, I think this is your turn. Pull us in the right direction.
I was actually going to talk about life story. Sorry, Toad Howard.
Give me Toad Howard.
Oh, so sorry.
Why did you think that was a good
I thought
idea?
you were gonna catch it.
Yeah, we threw it on my microphone.
To be fair, I was looking at the TV. God, I threw it. I'm so sorry.
All right, Toad Howard. You're a Toad. You can go in front of.
Toad Howard's
Tom
already
Rizzo.
breaking her systems already. It's my fault, but
Yeah,
all right.
we're already having.
I was talking about life story, but sister, you said you haven't read it yet.
No, I haven't. I have not. I'm waiting.
So far, life
I'm
story.
waiting for some time to actually read them.
So far, life story is actually pretty. It's still pretty steady. Yeah, you won't have any problems. You'll love it. I'll dive in more to it once you read it. I'll send you online links so you can catch up. Because I want to talk about it. With
I have 1 and 2. 2 is the one that I'm most excited about. The 70s.
I also wanted to bring up the Red Dead Online latest patch. Apparently, they announced that they're going through with that 3-way arc of you can either be a bounty hunter, tradesman, and what was the third one? Explorer.
That's
And
pretty
you
cool.
can separate too. And they did note the fact I'm just like you can deal with less people in these different things. Trader, you'll deal with people, but in a less hostile way. Explorer, you really don't have to deal with anybody. I'm probably gonna go those 2 routes because I don't like bounty hunting. Even in fucking campaign, I didn't like doing it.
I didn't mind it.
Oh, I can finally change my character.
Yeah,
They finally did that. So here's what happens when you get really excited in Red Dead Online and don't care how your character looks.
what are you
I'm in
doing?
pain. What do you think I was doing?
You're looking at me like I had to look at something.
No.
I'm sorry. My character, I keep calling him Fat Chuck Norris
Because he looks like fat Chuck Norris.
He looks like a fat old Chuck Norris, and I get really tired of looking at him. So I cannot wait. I want to spend like a solid hour making sure my character looks all right.
Yeah, once I go back to Red Dead, I'll probably do my character too, because mine looks like a meth addict that you would find on like a background character in Breaking Bad.
No.
Yeah, in the past month, what else happened with Red Dead? I feel like I'm going to keep talking about it until someone tells me to stop talking about it. But I love the game, so fuck
I
them.
mean, hey,
Don't ye on my hall.
I'm not going to haul on your ye either.
Yeah.
Monty also confided with me yesterday and told me he completed the game for the 3rd time.
Wow, God bless you.
I got done the Arthur Morgan part, so now I'm on the John Marston part.
You just
again
want to
for
hear the house building theme again.
I will replay the whole game just to hear the house building thing because it's not. And this is my other point. It's not on the fucking original soundtrack. It pisses me off to
Well, I
no
don't know,
end.
Dutch.
I had faith that I had faith that Rockstar had a plan that they would release the goddamn soundtrack with the house building theme. I'm really glad they finally put in Willie Nelson's Cruel World, because they had like another artist version which I didn't like because it wasn't Willie Nelson.
Yeah,
and it wasn't this.
Do you know who it was by any chance?
I can't remember his name.
Is it like a modern guy?
Yeah, I'll send
Mayer?
it to you. No,
I think it was John Mayer.
No, it wasn't John Mayer, because I wouldn't
Fuck
shit
up.
on it because of that. But
Don't start.
the Willie Nelson one was when John stopped being a rancher and started to live his own life. Mm-hmm. And once he saddles up, Cruel World goes on. That he's done, and it's a great segue. Mm-hmm. And Red Dead 1 had that great these great transition songs, and I'm just like, I'm glad they're added to the soundtrack. But then there was the house building theme that just made I know it's a stupid twang country song, but god damn it if it wasn't a fun thing to do in that game.
Yeah. Lift the beams.
It was just fun with the song. No matter what the weather.
Arthur, would you please try to keep it down? Well, I'm sorry, Dutch. I'm just so dummy thick that the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the Pinkertons. Oh my god.
I was in a show in Saint Denis eating beans, and I spilled the beans, and this O'Driscoll shouted, "This cowpoke eating beans," and everybody laughed.
Oh man. All right, yeah. So Red Dead's still a thing.
Red Dead will still be a thing to me because I love it.
Good.
I think with this third game completion, I have 200+ hours officially.
Christ,
good for you, man.
I will keep doing it because Red Dead to me is literally the game I'll go into and play to relax. I'll be like, hey, maybe I want to go raid on something. No, maybe I want to complete the hunting objectives. Maybe I'll actually delve into online. I don't know. I love cowboy shit. I'll keep going into it. Once there's a pirate game that comes out in the next couple of years, guess where I'm fucking going?
See, I scoff at you playing 200 hours.
Straight to Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, but for a console game, 200 hours is a lot for me.
No, it's a lot for any game.
I have double that in Total War. I know, because of fucking Mr. Crusader Kings over here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I scoff at that while I have like 600 hours in Crusader Kings.
The only game I've put more than 100 hours in, I put 200 hours into Pokemon X.
Yeah.
Why?
I believe that.
Because I was into competitive battling back then.
But
I would grind. I would just grind.
What was I going to say? Speaking of which, I finally delved into Hearts of Iron during the Steam Summer Sale.
How was it?
Do you have any DLC?
No. Okay. I will next. I will during the winter sale. Or Humber Bundle, because they had a Crusader Kings release lately.
Yeah, they had a Crusader Kings Humble Bundle.
But besides the fact, I fucked around for a while because I was just like, let me just be Russia and see where it goes, because I didn't play the tutorial.
Did you get smacked?
I didn't get smacked. I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and then I tried to invade Poland, and that just backfired terribly.
Oh, yeah.
And then I played as Italy and learned how offensive lines work.
Yeah,
and
its combat is a lot different than any other Paradox game.
And then I learned, factories, manufacturing, all that shit. I learned the basis of the game, reclaimed Ethiopia because of that fucking awkward stage in it. That's why I always feel bad playing it. I always feel bad playing a bad guy in any game. So it's kind of just like
our friend
being a historian. You're just ruining a nation because of what happened in Ethiopia. Yeah. And I'm just like, and I can't be, the part of me is just like satisfied because like, hey, I got this land and I got these resources. And then I'm just like, no, I'm a horrible person.
Yes. So our friend Nick Gallo quoted something I don't remember who he was quoting directly, but he says, when I'm outside of games, I'm completely like, I'm a liberal, and I'm like, got to fight for the rights of these people. Like I'm against imperialism and stuff. But it's like when I'm playing Paradox games, it's like, hey, if they didn't want to be conquered, they shouldn't have been born next to my borders.
one thing I do...
I got really mad at Lithuania for a while there.
The more and more I think about something I said earlier, I want to apologize to Tom King. You don't suck. It's just
Did Tom King just threaten you? Did you get a message? Let me see your phone.
No, it's just I feel bad because Tom King, like most people, he works really hard. Although I might not agree with what he's done with Batman, I'm sorry. You keep doing your best. I'll support you, even though I might not read Batman anymore. Best of luck to you. Thank you, and I'm sorry, Tom King.
Oh yeah, he's our listener in Russia.
Unbeknownst to Sisto, he just got an email from DC threatening.
We will have Greg Capullo come over and slaughter you if you don't take back what you said about Tom King.
You will be poorly written if you do not apologize to Tom King.
We will not publish the Choose Your Character comic book.
Yeah. So anyway,
I think that's it,
guys. Anything else to say? Anything to conclude with?
I'm sorry about Ethiopia.
Yeah, well,
in Hearts of Iron.
Speaking of Crusader Kings, just to wrap it up, I just did another run where I did my the Byzantine Empires to Rome run, which was pretty interesting. It was very difficult to do because Crusader Kings has a feature called threat level, and each time you do an offensive act outside of your nation,
threat level midnight.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna do it. I didn't.
But as the Byzantines, I conquered all of Bulgaria and stuff because you have a claim because you have all of Rome's former territories as your claim. Mm-hmm. And then I went from the south of Italy north. So I had all this land, and with Crusader Kings, your AI is also trying to expand its land by itself. Mm-hmm. So all your vassals are also declaring war in different counts in different areas and stuff. So they're also repeatedly getting more land for you. Mm. And so I had a constant threat of 100. And so that means that all the Christian factions, all the Jewish factions, all the Muslim factions, and even once India became a big block of a country, all the Hindu factions started to declare war on me.
Gotcha.
And that's what caused my 100% in Hearts of Iron.
Another
because
thing, I'm so sorry. I thought you were done.
No, what happened with mine was Greece declared war on me because of what I did. What the nearest northern state, and that caused 100% because Greece was allies with this. Mm-hmm. I basically just started 100% because 100% was when the Allies invaded. Normally, that's when Hearts of Iron does that 100%.
With the 100, you have a 100% world tension.
Yeah. Normally that starts with the U.S. I did it early because I invaded Greece.
Well, so if you play historically, the 100% threat happens when Germany invades Poland.
Yeah.
But with Hearts of Iron, I've only had 2 successful campaigns. One as the Germans, I managed to defeat the Allies before the United States joined. So once the UK capitalizes, they're the last big country in Europe. So you basically won the game. Mm-hmm. And I did one as the Soviet Union because playing historically with the Soviet Union, you just have to play the waiting game until Germany's invaded on D-Day. Mm-hmm. So, but with that game, once Germany was defeated, the Allies immediately declared war on me.
Oh God!
So they immediately started World War III. So I just quit it. I quit the game at that point because I did the main objective. We defeated Germany. We did our jobs.
I'm gonna do one where it's just I just want to completely fuck around now that I know the game.
I want to try Kaiserreich.
I'm gonna try Kaiserreich after I boost my production to full. Because I'm just going to cheat. I want to see how well I can do it. Limit everybody else's recourse and just max out mine.
Well, as Germany, you can reinstate the Kaiser by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
But in Kaiserreich's a mod for Hearts of Iron.
Yeah.
Where it's if Germany won World War One. So the world's kind of, in a different state. The United States is in a much deeper Great Depression than it was. And France is communist, and you have to it's Germany dealing with the fact that they're like the last great power, but also like they're an old system because they're still like Kaisers. But it's an interesting game. But anyway.
So one thing before we leave, I want to go into is a fan by the name of Vince requested that we go over some of the upcoming New York Comic Con guests. We'll keep updated on this because obviously since it's in October, there's a lot of more people that are going to be announced from now and then. But there are so many people that are already announced. I'll start with the comic book world. We have Al Ewing. He's going to be there from the Mortal Hulk. Beautiful
That's a great
line
run.
going on. It's an amazing run. Al Ewing should be nothing but happy. We have former Spider-Man writer Dan Slott is going to be there. He's currently on Fantastic Four. Not doing so hot, but what are you going to do? Fantastic Four, it's either you hit or miss with them. You got Brian K. Vaughan, very big Image guy. He does Saga, Paper Girls, and one of my favorites, Why the Last Man. Such an amazing run. I recommend anyone read that. You got Chris Claremont, famous X-Men writer. Clay Mann, he does some art for Batman. He did Heroes in Crisis. Like I said, Dan Slott. You have who else we got?
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman. Yeah, he's in what's the face? We got Joshua Williamson, Jonathan Glapion, Joelle Jones, one of my favorite writers. She does Catwoman.
Okay.
She's awesome. Kyle Higgins, popular for his run on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then he's also done Winter Soldier.
What are you doing Power Rangers?
What?
What are you doing Power Rangers?
No, he writes the comics for them.
Oh wow.
For Boom. Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Really? I didn't even know
they're really popular right now.
Huh.
Obviously we got Greg Capullo.
Yeah.
He's gonna be there. Tom King, Scott Snyder. You know, the usual guys, because it's usually a DC fest here. You got Art Germ, Stan Lau. He's an amazing artist. Like I said, Tom King, and then one of Whilce Portacio, one of the founding Image guys. Uncanny X-Men, Major X. Really, really, really good 90s artist. One of the guys who actually, in the time of raw talent, actually had a lot of good technique to his drawings, and with like Liefeld being there with the guy who can't draw feet. But my biggest upset is that I haven't seen Ryan Otley announced yet, and then Nick Spencer actually canceled.
Yeah.
Which is upsetting. But as far as the entertainment world goes, and also you got James Tynion who's going to be there.
Yeah.
I think he does.
Yeah, we looked at this. You also said Tom Kenny was going to be in it.
Tom Kenny. So Tom Kenny's going to be there. Benedict Wong, which I'm sure he's going to get grilled with Doctor Strange questions. Billy D. Williams. Oh my God, kill me for saying that. Billy D. Williams. Dominic Monaghan's going to be there. I think he was in X-Men Origins Wolverine. He was, and then he's going to be in Rise of Skywalker. So that's going to be really exciting.
Oh,
Claire Kramer from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah.
Okay.
She's going to be in there. James Arnold Taylor from Clone Wars is going to be there. I forget who he plays, but I'm sure I'll get roasted for not knowing. Jodie Benson, who voiced Ariel in Little Mermaid. Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings. And obviously
Doug from 51st Dates.
Shut up. Tom Kenny. Obviously SpongeBob SquarePants. And then Veronica Taylor, who's the original voice of Ash Ketchum. So far, there are not as many entertainment guests announced yet. I fully expect Riverdale to be there.
Yeah.
Riverdale's coming. They had, after how much they got grilled with season 3 being
badly.
So they got grilled really badly. The writers did, not the.
Wow.
The writers got grilled really badly for some of the hokiness of season 3, and I'm not going to defend them on that one. Some of it was bad, but
have you ever tried getting into the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina? Because it's connected to Riverdale.
Oh, on Netflix?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to get there eventually.
It's good. I liked it. Lex and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's really dark.
I'm a huge Riverdale fan, so.
It's got connections to Riverdale. It's not explicitly about.
Was it in like Greenvale or something like that?
I didn't like it because
Greenvale.
it didn't have Salem.
It does. The cat?
Yeah, but he doesn't talk.
Well, he doesn't talk because he's a
fucking cat.
demon.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's very dark, but I enjoy it a lot.
Not a talking cat.
So we'll see where that goes from there. But yeah, so far not as packed. We don't have many. This is obviously like pretty much going to be an off year for superhero movies.
Yeah.
For now. I mean, you
got to take a
imagine
breather
where
after
we go.
Endgame.
Yeah.
So
we're not going to see. We might see probably an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel, maybe an Arrowverse panel, since it's getting closer to Arrow's final season.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anything exciting.
Yeah.
I
So
couldn't say anything exciting.
anyway, I think it's time to wrap it up. I think we've talked everyone's ears off. So thank you guys for watching and listening. We are on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and
Your greatest
it.
imaginations.
yeah. And follow us on Facebook at Choose Your Character, the Choose Your Character podcast, actually. And on Instagram and Twitter as C_Y_character. And on Twitch at Choose Your Character. Coming up, God, what's coming up? We're
coming up. Ooh, we got so many. We got a lot of good video games coming up.
And the summer announcements.
And the summer announcements.
I'll probably talk about that big patch coming up for Red Dead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're kind of in the point of the year where things start to slow down a bit until the holiday season. That's when we're going to start getting more stuff.
Yeah.
Because we still got Star Wars coming up in December. So
can you believe that it's only 5 months away, 4 months away from Star Wars? I'm getting chills thinking about it.
But anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'm Marcucci.
We're literally going in order.
It goes him, then you, then me.
Why?
Because I've had a thing where I go, and I'm yada yada, and I say something stupid, and in the end.
When was this established? Hold on.
For the past 3 or so episodes I've been doing it, I thought we just kind of fell into
Christ.
it.
All right, who are you, Marcucci?
I'm Marcucci.
Okay, I'm Mungie.
And I'm the pizza guy.
Pizza time.
That was
Fuck
so
that.
Okay, nope. See ya.
I'm the milkman. My
And
milk
I'm
is
Sisto.
delicious.
See you guys later.
There's no door this way, but I'm going
You're
off
off screen,
camera,
you're
so
in
that
it.
counts.
Yeah, you're fucking
Don't
trapped.
break the. Don't behind
No,
the curtain.
you can't hear me. I'm off screen.
Behind the curtain here, we don't want to. We
can't
don't
hear
want to
me.
know that
I'm
there's
off screen.
nothing on that wall there.
Fucking Wizard of Nas.
God, you're breaking the
Fourth wall.
realism and everything. All right, thanks guys. See you guys
ya.
later.